SC Homes, a premier custom home builder in Southern California, Orange County, Costa Mesa, some of those amazing zip codes that if you open up our catalog or like any issue of like Sunset or Dwell, it's like everything that you're seeing there. So I've got basically a kick-ass builder, home builder to talk today. So I'm really excited. So thank you for taking some time to join us today.
No problem. And thank you for opening up like cussing, because I didn't know if I was allowed to, but now I know. Like
I had a second when I said that, I'm like, should I have said it? I don't. Yeah, it's coronavirus world. I think there's no more rules.
Hey, I like that. I was gonna wear a mask for this whole thing, but I didn't know how it'd look, you know.
Yeah, I've been wearing one in the neighborhood, and it feels weird, but at the same time, I feel like it's making a statement that at least I'm trying to do something. But
it really is. I don't know. Flattening the curve, right?
Flattening the curve. So, and you've been in a place that has actually flattened the curve, and it seems better than a lot of states. So kudos to California. Another plug for Scott before we jump into. So Scott has also been featured on HGTV. I'll let you explain a little bit about that, but he's, we'll call him a celebrity, at least in the realm of Vintage U Facebook Live.
Yeah, there you go. I'd use that term loosely, but
yeah,
we did Extreme Makeover in 2009, right before they stopped the original Extreme Makeover. We were the youngest builder for Extreme Makeover back in 2009. And then we did a series on DIY, and then we did a series on HGTV with Jasmine Roth called Hidden Potential. We did all of season 1, and we were the general contractor for 13 different homes that we renovated, and it was a blast. So then we did we were super busy at the time, so I chose one episode of season 2, and then now she has a whole new series that we just finished filming, and right at the end of the coronavirus. So that starts, I believe, in July, I was told. So, yeah, a lot of the TV stuff, which I enjoy, but honestly, the high end where we actually get to put in some wine cellars is what I really enjoy.
That's awesome. And so speaking of wine cellar, I'm going to zoom myself a little smaller because everyone's sick of seeing me because they see me every night. So I didn't have to ask you to walk very far to show me a wine cellar. This is, I would say it's your wine room, but it's actually your wife's wine room. Is that correct?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, I'm a coffee drinker, so I have a coffee station. This is hers, but so yeah, this is basically her little area and her little Zen area, and she gets to sit here and look at the wine and, I don't know, drink it, I guess. She has some favorites there, but it's, what we're noticing a lot in this industry is the wine cellars are mostly for looks. We build these huge rooms, and in my case, we're about 100 square feet or so, not that big, but a decent size, right? And you chill these rooms down to 50 degrees or less. Remember, I don't drink, so I have no idea what it's supposed to be. I can look at the freezer. 43,
55.
55. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. 55 on the red, I think. But anyways, so you're sitting in this freezing room and drinking the wine. So here we decided not to temperature control the whole room and just do a couple wine towers by Sub-Zero, and it to me it works a lot better. So you can still hang out in this room, do a bunch of Facebook Lives with you, and just be able to enjoy it. And in this case, this is all reclaimed lumber as well. So we always try to do something fun in the rooms,
And what I would say is it's interesting. I just gave we do a webinar series to a lot of design build professionals, and we did one of the topics was wine cellar design trends. And one of the things that we cover in there is the expanse of the audience. So 10 years ago, the wine cellars were for serious collectors only, and that's still a big segment today. We still have a lot of people doing beautiful high-end cellars, and they're putting those dust-worthy wines, as I like to kind of call them. But now the market has opened up where you have a lot of people, which it sounds like your wife is in there, who she loves wine. She might not be collecting, $1,000 bottles, but she wants a nice room to store her wine. And it doesn't need to be this big. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't need to be a big climate control project. It can be a nice little fun room that serves the purpose.
Exactly. And when it's funny because when people think of like a wine cellar, at least in our Corona Del Mar projects, they think of glass, and glass in a wine cellar is actually probably the worst thing you can do.
It's hard to overcome a lot of challenges. We spend a lot of time on that. Can I give you a little shout? We have Katie Betzworth, who's on our team, just commented on here that she loves the black on the reclaimed wood. So she loves your choice of the kind of transition on there.
It is.
Yeah, and that's totally true. We see a lot of glass, and glass presents a lot of design challenges and hurdles, especially if you want to keep that wine super safe.
It really does. Condensation starts building up and we get warranty calls and so now we got disclaimers. You want a glass door or a glass wall, which I think we sent you some pictures of one of those.
Yeah,
Like it will not hold temperature. And if it
yeah.
does, it's going to condensate, a ton over by the
Yeah,
beach.
and some of the images that we're going to show in a little bit, you'll see some of them. So, like what we say is, if you're smart with glass, you can avoid a lot of those things. But when some of the ones that we're going to show that you have are like literally, there's nothing but glass, and
Right.
that presents a
Exactly.
hole, and we'll get into that. So, I have a question for you. So we talked a little bit about kind of the trend of just kind of expanded audience. You do. You told me before we got on here about a dozen custom homes at a time. You're on site with, and these are all high end premium homes in a very very exclusive market. How important is it to have a wine display, cooled or not, in these custom homes that you're building?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's strangely very important. And I find it strange only because I don't drink. So,
Yeah.
I,
Is your wife Shannon by chance?
yes.
She loves this wine room, according to Facebook. Sorry to interrupt. I'm like, I saw a last name that's familiar on there. So yeah, sorry to interrupt. So you say it's odd to you as a non-wine drinker, but what are your clients telling you when they're asking you for these types of rooms?
Yeah. So, I came from a spec home building world where I build spec, buy a property, tear it down, build a new one, sell it. And we always are in the high end where we're selling somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 to 15 million. And so that's kind of my mindset. So when everybody's coming to me, when my clients are coming to me asking, hey, what do you think about my floor plan? I always look for a wine cellar because I said, you don't have a wine cellar, you're going to rule out a ton of people. So, you know, my wife is very distracting.
Yeah, she just called you a hot guy in a gray
Yeah,
hat.
I saw that.
Hey, it's
So
live. It's fun.
apparently for some, the so I always try to include a wine room, especially when we have a basement home where we need areas with no windows, right? And
Right.
and to me, the wine areas are the perfect spot. Even in some of our homes in like Corona del Mar, like in the village, they call it the flower streets. They're really small, narrow lots, and they 3 stories up, and we end up finding little pockets like under stairs. In fact, you were talking earlier about having a wine area under the stairs, which is now your kids' storage apparently. But
It's a mix. I just have to crawl over some toys that make noise to get to my Barolo.
so then it makes you feel guilty for drinking.
No, the opposite.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you should be. Um, anyhow, so yeah, we'll find a crevice anywhere that we can to put some wine storage. But I feel like it's extremely important in my market to have some sort of wine storage, whether it's a room or a little pocket under the stairs or wherever, or even just a wine refrigerator if that's the worst, the best you can get out of it, I guess.
I got it. It's not the worst. It's just a different thing. Like, a wine refrigerator is great for serving temperature wines. A wine room is great for a lot more wines, for storage. And then a full
Yeah.
wine cellar is great if you want those dust-worthy wines. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to hide myself off this. And as we discussed, once I go away, I can't talk. So the floor is yours. We're
Oh
going to
boy.
share. Oh yeah, this is where it gets weird. I'm going to bring up some of your projects. We're going to play word association. So as we go through here, just give me a little bit of comment on each image that we bring up there. So
Okay.
first, I'm going to show this, and then I'm going to go goodbye, and then we'll go play word association.
All right. Yeah, this is kind of strange, huh? Okay, so that home there is actually the one I was speaking to, all glass, right? So this particular home is in Cameo Shores, and we wanted it to be just we designed it to be just kind of a glass concept. You got glass floors in this house, you got glass walls, you got this divider between your dining room and hallway of all glass with obviously with your racking system. So one of my favorites, but doesn't stay completely cool at all times. Same house, different view. And again, this is actually one of my favorite homes, owned by some pretty cool people. Actually, I like it. Okay, so this is a different house, actually, same neighborhood. You can see the glass floor above. So these are basement homes that we do, and we actually have like a little outside courtyard. If you look to your left, you can see that, which is like an outdoor space for your basement, which makes you feel like you're not in a basement. It actually works really well. And then the bar area on each side right here that you can see, you got flanking wine cellars. So both of them are temperature controlled. They're dual glazed in this case, and it helped with the condensation, but it's still, not the ideal situation for a wine cellar, but it looks amazing. And obviously with your shelves as well, all that backlit onyx is pretty cool too. There's another image of that house. You can see that outdoor space. Okay, this was actually a house that we did a true wine cellar, and I was saying how, you get huge space and now you're freezing sitting. That's what this was. You could see all your racking system. I mean, we couldn't fill it. We didn't have enough wine, but it's an amazing space. 350 in the in that neighborhood, Cameo Shores. Okay, that's another one in Cameo Shores, all glass, temperature controlled wine room. It's just a cool. It's hard to see without all the furniture in there, but it ended up pretty cool. There's another view of it. These are all our spec homes. This was another in Laguna with Athens Gray, I think, marble on the background there. Pretty cool little space. It makes it look bigger than it actually is. I think it's about 8 by 15 or so. But great use of space and just a cool little sitting spot. That helped sell the house, actually.
All right, so now I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. And that wasn't too awkward. I think that worked really well. I liked the name association game. So you did a great job, and your work is beautiful. And I love the range of what I would call completely impractical showpieces that just make people happy to some super practical thinking. And that's the range. Some homeowners really want some serious wine cellar storage. And some homeowners just want something kind of pretty, and as long as you don't put it in direct sunlight, they can put some nice decent wines there for however quickly they drink them. So,
that's what I hear.
yeah. So that's absolutely it's a good range right there. Now on kind of a more serious note, I'd love to get your take on. So right now we're in this unprecedented time of, the world has kind of stopped economically, right? And in having conversations, I feel, of course, there's a lot of unease, but there's a lot of. Explain to me, like, your thought process, like what's happening to like the home building world when, essentially, whether it's local laws or the economy or both are just kind of, slowing things down a little bit. What are you looking at in the short term, midterm? How is coronavirus affecting SoCal?
Yeah, I think we're all trying to figure that out, right? How is coronavirus affecting everybody? And to me, it's personally, I believe you either have faith or you have fear, and I got faith, and I feel like this is going to be fine eventually, obviously, but everybody's up in arms. So the reality of it is we are in an issue at the moment in terms of economy, right? And in the building world. And I've got, 2 clients that were set to start in the next month and a half that have now postponed. I've had the current clients all obviously are extremely concerned. Can I still get inspections? Can I, is the city going to stay open so we can pull permits, things like that? We have a lot of distributors that are, way backed up. We're changing some of the, tile selections so they're not imported. But, we work with what we got. And, was the Zoom, I mean, look at the Zoom stock is probably going crazy. I never heard of Zoom until this virus. And I actually enjoy Zoom. I love relationships, but I really like Zoom. It's been a great way for me to be very productive in one spot without driving everywhere. And so for me, I've learned things from, and still I'm sure more to come, but I really think that it's gonna, we will have to stay or it's gonna have and we're gonna get through it. And I think the dip's not gonna be that long, in my opinion.
And that's good. And one of the things you said to me in when we were talking, you feel that nothing has gone away. It's more of a pause. So a lot of you feel like confident these projects are still going to go forward. The business is still going to be there. We just don't know if it's July or September or August or some other date.
You got it. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. So hopefully we can just hold it together until then, you know, and I think the government's actually helping in that regard, not to bring up any of that, but the fact that we could possibly, you know, hold in there with our employees for a while, you know, with some
Yeah.
stimulus funds. So it's, I think, I don't know, it's just a weird time, but we're gonna, you know, yesterday we had a wall, and you know, we're not at a stay in place as construction, or stay at, what do they call it?
Shelter in place.
Shelter in place, yeah. So for construction, we're not, and although I try to be, and you know, yesterday we had a big meeting with an architect, interior designers, and owners, and whatever, and we're, you know, everybody's in these masks, and it's the most interesting meeting, you know, just seeing everybody standing so far apart,
Yeah.
and with masks on, just like it's going to be something that we remember.
I think that you're right. You know, 6 feet is going to have a very new meaning to everybody who's living through this.
Yeah.
You might have to, I don't even know what that means in terms of home design. If you need to put like the grocery store markers on the ground just so everyone knows how far they can get to their loved ones. But I love. I had the same similar conversation yesterday with a wine cellar builder in the right outside of Detroit, and I feel like there's a little bit of a fighting spirit, a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, a little bit
Yeah.
of a reason for optimism. I guess it's the only way, right? Because if you have a positive outlook, you're going to figure out a way to make things better,
That's
and to
exactly
build
right.
those. Yeah. So, Scott, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your insight. I appreciate your wine rooms because they are beautiful.
Thank you.
And the understanding that they're all over, you know, the spectrum, from the serious drinkers to those casual people just want something fun to look at. And someone did, I picked up on this. Someone, Craig Moore, said, "Love the faith over fear" comment. I had the same thing when you said that. That was a
Yeah.
great way to put it. Faith over fear, a wine room in every home. We'll live by those two mantras for the
You got it.
next foreseeable future. Thanks
Love
again
it.
for taking the time. Good luck. Be well. Be healthy. Take care of your family. I appreciate that you drink coffee and your wife drinks wine, because those are the two things I care about.
There you go.
So I can't wait to see what you come up with next.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
All right, you too.